all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. AMP2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Okay, we're on.
We're on. Oh, great. Hi. My name's Ted Hoskinson, and I'm with Roots and Wings, which is a local 501c3 charity that was established about 3 years ago. We have 2 programs currently operating. One was started initially, and that is a teacher award program called the Above and Beyond Awards. It was started originally by some friends of mine, and I joined in with them at, was only operating at Pine Grove and only operating occasionally. And after my wife passed away, I established this charity, and I asked them if I could expand it, and we started with all the elementary schools in Delray Beach. I had the pleasure of going and talking to all the principals about hopefully being able to honor their teachers. The first year we did 3 teachers every year. I think it almost killed me because going there every month to award 3 teachers was great, but it was a lot. So. Right. Lisa, you were there that first year. Tell me about how you received me the first time when I said I wanted to do this thing for your teachers.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the program, and I'm here for you because you're here for us. So I was very, very proud to be able to offer this award to our teachers at Orchard View. I remember when I first got to Orchard View 2 years ago, and somebody said, when Ted calls, take that call. You want to know what he has to say. And when I spoke to you, and it was all about the teachers and letting them know that they're supported and appreciated, I was behind that project whatsoever. And now, Ted, you have more programs coming up like Uplift. Correct. And the Uplift program is for children. And that program is for reading. And at Orchard View, we've already seen our gains in reading in 2nd and 3rd grade grow from fall to winter. To the December iReady test, we saw so much growth. And so I just appreciate Roots and Wings, and I want everyone to know out there that it's valuable.
Well, when we started the teacher program, we thought once we got involved in that having the the kids be able to, we wanted to help the children obviously as well. So the reading part of it was very important. And when the first year we started just at Pine Grove, and it was just third graders. But after we finished with that, we only took the ones that really needed the most help. And we said to Mrs. King, who's the principal there, we said, listen, we would like to be able to help more because we don't think we've been able to do as much as we could if we went down to the second grade. So we were thinking about expanding, but we're a young charity. We don't have a lot of money. We've been able to be fairly successful because of friends and people that have seen what we do, and they've donated to us, which is helpful. But in conversations with Harvey and Virginia Kimmel, they gave me a challenge, or they gave us a challenge at Roots and Wings and said, listen, we'll give you $10,000 if you can match it. So we went about our business of trying to match it, and we were successful, and that's how the second and third grade program at Orchard View happened, because then we will be able to expand it. We've gotten a little more money. We've actually gone to, we bought an LLI program for
Right.
Spady, and we've now, this second semester, we're giving $5,000 each to 3 of the other schools in the hopes that we'll be able to help in some small way with that reading.
Right.
Because most of the schools have a little bit of money to help with programs to be helpful, but if we give them that money, that can be used exclusively for reading, which opens up some other
Right.
stuff
Absolutely.
from math or whatever else the kids need.
Right. And today I brought Joyce Prybel with me, and Joyce is my math coach at the school, but she's a recipient of the Roots and Wings Above and Beyond Teacher Award.
Twice,
A two-timer. And I wanted people to also hear how much teachers do appreciate that other people know how hard that they work.
So as a recipient, as a teacher, for me, the first year, it was, I had no idea because I was new to the Delray schools. So being surprised for your efforts is just, and to be recognized for your efforts in your own, in your natural setting, in your classroom with your students there to watch it, see, it does something for the child and it does something for the teacher. I mean, it really is very, it's uplifting. It's aside from just obviously a monetary benefit, the just being the sense of the recognition that you get and watching your students feel pride in seeing you be recognized does a lot. So thank you. It's amazing, and it does a lot for I think every teacher that I've spoken to has been a recipient, amazed and happy and thrilled and really feel valued. So
I can't tell you how good that makes me feel, because we always say that we like to have a triple. We like to have the teacher surprised, because when you walk into the classroom, in many cases, the teacher doesn't know. So it's a little bit of commotion. Hold on, wait a second. We're sorry we're interrupting you, whatever. But they don't really know.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that happens is usually somebody smart, like Mrs. Lee says, kids, tell me what makes your teacher special. There's always, every hand gets raised. They all want, even if they're saying the same thing, they all want to say it. You're the nicest teacher. You're the best teacher. You're sympathetic when I'm upset about learning how to do something. You're always the one that, makes me feel better, whatever that is. And if we're really lucky, the triple happens when they go home, because we know how hard it is for you guys a lot of times. You're doing more than just teaching.
Right.
And so if they go home and they say, or their parents say, hey, what happened today in school? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. My teacher was recognized as a great teacher. What does that do to the parents? How does that make the parents feel?
Right.
So for us, that's what we strive for, because the gift, although it's a little money, is in my opinion, it's more the recognition.
Absolutely.
I mean, so we're so happy to have teachers involved and doing, and hopefully you work a little harder. I mean, we've heard that from several teachers that they the gift made them appreciate the fact that people appreciated
Right.
them.
Right.
Right.
So-
their efforts were noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We keep a big board, one of the boards outside of the cafeteria with the winners from last year and the winners from this year that we're doing. And the teachers just like to see their name up there. I mean, seeing your name in lights and being able to say, wow, they're really looking at me. You're not on your own island. And sometimes teachers do feel like they're in their own little classroom and they're on their own island. And, you know, this makes the school act more like a family, and with Roots and Wings as our partner.
well, we really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, one of the great things we brought, as you probably remember, when we had the money to support the after-school program, we brought it in. You said, let's bring the check. So we brought a big check, a fake big check.
Yes.
And we brought it into the dining room, to your dining area. And the kids that were going to be in the program were sitting there.
Yes.
And we brought the check over with a couple of the other members of the board. And when we turned the check over, it was like it was Christmas for the kids. I mean, you could see it in their eyes. They
Yes.
were excited. They clapped. They understood that people were caring about them too.
Right.
And the program, you know, the key to the program also is that the child has to sign up with the parent, with the teacher, saying, we're going to work hard. This is a hand up, not a hand out. It's
Right.
there if you want it. But if you say, hey, I don't care about it, I don't think I need it, you don't have to come. And you all have to have the ability to send a child away if they're being disruptive.
Right.
So,
The children know for the after-school reading program, they know their levels, they know they want to move up, and they've already made that commitment with the teachers. The teachers are choosing them quite carefully for this extra program. But it's one of the things that schools in general have to remember. We're not there just for reading and writing. We're there to teach that child to believe in him or herself. And when you believe in yourself, you move. And sometimes you don't need the extra reading workbook. You just have that key effort and that belief. And then, having these teachers spend time after school with them helps them with that, makes them feel special. So the Uplift program actually uplifts, not just their reading levels, but also their sense of themselves.
you know, I remember last year we brought a fellow named Jackson Destine
Yes.
to all the schools. And Jackson was the recipient of the Wendy's Heisman High School Athlete. I think I got this right. High School Athlete of the Year. He was the only one in the United States of America, and he's a product of Delray Schools. And so he came. I wanted him to. He was a senior last year, and I wanted him to come to the schools. I thought his message would be good. I'm too old to give the right message. You're too much of a professional to give it. They look up to
Right.
you in a different way.
Right.
They look to their teachers in a different way.
Sure.
But if you have some child who's Haitian, who's
Yes.
a lot of the kids can identify with,
Yeah.
and he goes in there and he says, his opening line
Work
was
hard.
exactly what you said. He said, I want you all to repeat after me. I believe in myself. And then he said, okay, you've already won. If you believe in yourself, then you can do anything that you need to do. You can persevere. You can know that you can handle that hard work. And when you decide that you can do it, your teacher's going to be there by your side. Friends are going to be around you to be helpful.
Right.
But if you don't want to succeed, who's going to help you? You're not asking for the necessary help because teachers are there. Teachers want to help.
Right.
But if you don't want to be helped, it's really out of the teacher's hands. So I thought his message last year, and then he came back for a repeat performance this year, and I thought it was so great because he kept the same message, but he started talking about the rain and going through the rain and how, it starts with a little pitter-patter, and then it gets
yes.
harder, and then it gets harder, and all of a sudden all the kids are pounding their legs, and then
Yeah.
he says, and then he goes snaps his fingers, and he's talking about how you come out of the rain, and the things are hard. things are always going to be hard. Nothing worth doing is easy.
Right.
You can have, as I've said to the kids who have their perfect T-shirts in your program, you got to show up. If you don't show up, you can be the best baseball player, the quarterback on the football team. But if you don't come, you can't play. And if you can't play, you can't be the star.
Right.
So you got to show up and you got to want to be a winner.
Right.
And anyone can be a winner. You can always improve. There are going to be people to help you.
Yeah, speaking of winning and even awarding kids, we Roots and Wings and Ted, when you came in to give the kids the bronze, silver, and gold medals, one thing happened that you might have saw, but I saw as well, the children clapping and happy for other children.
Fabulous.
You know, saying,
really was.
You say a child's name, oh, you won the gold award, and their friends are like, they won the gold award, yay, happy for them.
Correct.
And this is something that you would hope as a teacher or administrator that you're teaching your children that we're all going to grow and move.
Shared success.
But we need to share, and when other people grow and move, we need to recognize that. And so that worked the other day. It was great.
Well, not only that, but I noticed several kids who were on edge about how much they'd succeeded and were they going to get whatever. And it was just, it was so, it made me so happy to want for their success because they wanted for their success.
Right.
And but you're right, they were cheering for everybody. It wasn't just them. So they made it. Maybe they only got a bronze. Who cares? They were happy to have the bronze, and they were happy that other kids got a gold.
That's right.
Or a silver.
That's
They
right.
were happy for every child that was recognized.
Oh, another testament to all of that, Ted, is we have the students who are not in those specific programs, and they are now asking because they see their friends moving. So that's like another definite symbol of success when you see other children asking, "Can I go to after-school reading tutorial?"
Right.
It doesn't roll
Yes.
off a second grader's tongue, but we have children actually
we had
asking.
a child last year in Pine Grove who was a third grader, and she was told about, after the first iReady test, I guess, that she didn't have to be in the program anymore. I guess she was able to move on maybe
Okay.
to the four. I don't know how it all worked.
Okay.
And she said, but I want to stay. I want to be here. This is helpful. And you know, how does that make someone that's trying to do good? I
Yes.
mean, you can't you know, yes, there's an expense to that, but the expense is in heaven almost. I mean, it makes you feel so good that your money, which the money that we pay is basically, we don't pay for the building, we don't pay for the meals, the little snacks that they get. We put all the money into the teachers and the little program things that we do, like the T-shirts, because that's where we believe the money should be spent.
Right.
We don't pay the teachers any less than what they're supposed to be paid. We don't. All we want is for success for the kids. And from our standpoint, that's what it should be.
That's right.
You know?
That's
so
right.
we're trying to expand the program. We've gotten a little extra money from other people who see the success of it. You know, when people ask me, it's kind of strange. They say, we'd like to give you a little money. I say, would you like to come to an award ceremony? Because if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the teacher's expression, I can't tell you how many teachers we've seen cry.
Of course.
Yes.
It was their first ever. One teacher last year at Village, she'd been teaching, she was retiring. She'd been there for 20 years. And she said, oh, my makeup is running. Hold on, wait a second. You know, because Idlen's there taking her picture.
Right.
And she doesn't want, you know, she's, I can't say she's embarrassed. I can't really put the words to it. She was just so overwhelmed at that somebody would recognize her and her efforts.
Yes.
You know, in front of her class. And even that class, you know, sometimes kids, when they get to high school,
Right.
they're a little, you know, they're different than the elementary
Yes.
kids.
Right.
But those kids all clapped for her. And I
Yes.
thought, wow, she must really be a great teacher.
Yeah.
Because, you know, those kids, a lot of kids, they don't, that's somebody else's deal. I
Right.
don't need to be appreciating her, you know, kind of thing, or him.
Right.
So it's just for us being able to expand this program, being able to go hopefully into these other schools next year and do the same thing with the second and third grade. That's really our goal.
Okay.
And you know, we put $85,000 worth of charitable giving into the schools for the teacher program and for the after school programs, and next year we're looking to put about 125 into it. So hopefully we'll get some more donations. Hopefully we'll find some foundations now that this is our third year. We're going to be going after some local foundations that we think will be receptive to giving us some money. And we'll be able to, you know, it's all with the teachers. You were extremely lucky. You know, when you're a great principal, you're able to get out of those, you're able to ask teachers to do things.
Yes.
And they who normally might say, you know, it's because I understand
It's
It's been a
difficult.
long day, and I've had you know, and I got to go home and I got to do more work, you know, to spend another hour and a half. And you asked for the extra half hour.
Yeah,
Remember,
I
I said,
knew.
well, it's 2:30, it's 3, it's 2:30 to 3:30, and you said, can we have it till 4? Because the kids, it's a normal break off where they can go home. And I said, if you need a little extra money, we'll find the money.
Right. It just, every school might be different, because if you have a neighborhood school that a lot of kids walk home, that's different than having a school like mine where I have like 11 buses
Right.
coming from neighborhoods that the kids can't walk. So I found that, yes, you need to trust your teachers. You need that kind of recognition going on to say, you got to go the distance for me. We're moving this school, Orchard View, from a D to an A over, you know, these last few years. And it's going to take a lot of work. But when we have people to help recognize that work, and there's money behind giving the extra that the kids need, then it's a win-win situation.
Right. Well, that's what we're all about, or we try to be. We try to be in situations where the principles behind it, the program is there for their use. I mean, it only can be as good as the involvement of the principal and the teachers want it to be, because that side of it says, come on, kids, you can be great. And if you just don't experience that, the kids, it's easy for kids to say, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. You know, I don't feel good or whatever. But if you have that teacher that says, listen, come along with me, we're going to make this happen. You all of a sudden have, you know, well, you understand what a teacher's role is. A
Right.
teacher is a mother. A teacher is a
Nurturer,
confidant,
yes.
a nurse, a babysitter. You have a million roles during the day,
Yes.
in addition to supposedly teaching them a little math.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not. We know it's not
Absolutely.
easy.
And our staff, I think one of the good things about our Uplift program is that we have teachers who are not their regular day teachers as well, teaching the younger kids.
Right.
So they bring a different perspective because they're mostly intermediate teachers, and they're interacting with the younger students. And I think that giving them that different perspective as well is also very beneficial to the students, because and I think just the threshold is a little higher. They speak at a higher level. You know, they're not used to them, so they, you know, it keeps it works.
Yeah.
It
Right.
works.
Just hearing it from another voice.
Right.
Yeah,
same
same
thing.
message
The
from a
same
different
thing
voice.
from
Different,
another
yeah.
voice.
It works.
And I think that's a great strategy, because the teachers know how to talk to each other about what the students' strengths and weaknesses are. You guys have put them into various and sundry groups based on that, and you've tried to match up a teacher that's understanding about that
Yes.
particular student or that group of students.
Right.
And you have it down to about 10 for one teacher.
That's right.
So that's a great student-teacher ratio for trying to really get after what the student needs. And I remember going into a classroom and having them do some phonics.
Yes.
Well, that was what the students in
Needed.
that
Yes.
class needed.
Yes.
And it may not be what's on the roll of what they're supposed to do or need to do, but it's beginning to start the process of learning. If you don't know phonics, No matter how
Right.
old you are, you can't get the basics down.
Yes.
And I love going into the rooms because each room they were doing different things. It wasn't like everybody was stereotyped and the stuff was on the on the wall or on the they're on the board and everybody was doing the same thing. Each teacher was being creative, and I think it's a mark of excellence on your part. But they were taking it as, okay, now we can have a little fun
Yes.
and teach, and we don't have to be in the same books that we're in during the school day.
Yeah.
We can take it as a different approach.
Yes, you can take a deep breath, first of all, because you're not in the regular school day. Our teachers have to teach on grade level every day because you can't always come down to everyone's level where they might have gaps in their learning, or else you're losing other kids. So when do you have time to go back to those other kids? Because you do have to help them. So many times these after-school programs are the time that you can go back and fill in gaps.
Right.
For these students.
I remember as a former fourth grade teacher a long time ago that really you always have to teach to the middle to the lower part of the class. And you always feel like you're cheating the best
The
students,
higher students.
because they don't really need you as much
Right.
as the other ones. And the other ones, if you spend too much time being over the heads of those other
it's a
kids,
lot.
they lose
Yes.
interest in what it is and they become more trouble in the classroom. So you kind of have to walk that gentle line and then give those students at the upper end that special attention in certain ways.
Right.
But then you have to also, when you really need it, you got to give the kids that really need the
Right.
extra help.
Right.
And that's what we hope, because
And we do that in small groups
Right.
now in schools.
regular day.
In the regular day, we tell the teacher, try not to stand and be that sage on the stage for more than 15, 20 minutes. Nobody can hold their attention that long. Then break them up into small groups and have them rotate around to you so that you can give that individual instruction.
Exactly.
So with 10 people in the Uplift program,
It's
they can do that too.
Much more accomplishable, yeah.
Right. Well, we have 50. We have 50. We
Right,
have
but
5
10
little groups of 10.
Yeah.
And 5 teachers who volunteered
Right.
to be there. Not volunteered free, but volunteered to spend the extra time. After school for an hour and a half, 3 days a week, to help kids. And, it was great because every time we go in the classrooms, I'll say to the kids, "Do you remember me?"
Oh, they remember you.
Yeah,
Now
they
everybody
remember
knows
me.
you.
And it's wonderful because it just is another person that's a friendly face that wants their success. And they need as many of those people as possible to say to them, we are looking to praise you. We're looking to have you be the star. And you can be the star. You can be anything that you decide to be if you just persevere, if you just take it to that next level.
Thank
true.
you, Ted. I'm so glad that we have you to help with all of that.
Well, we try, as you know. So, anyway, it's been a real pleasure to be with both of you.
Thank you.
You're both stars, in my opinion, because you're in the front lines every day trying to make kids learn. And it's not easy. It's a lot harder than really anybody could think. I remember my first day of teaching. I taught second grade in New Orleans, and I had no idea. I mean, you have no idea. Second grade, they all have their biggest eyes to you.
Yeah.
And we had, I'm talking what I think is in second grade language, I've made the little name tags. I've got everybody organized, and then one kid in the back of the room raises his hand and he says, "Mr. Hushkinson, we don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
So it brought me right back to trying to understand that I really needed
Yeah.
to be where I am. So anyway.
Well, thank
great.
you. We
You're very-
and I just again from a teacher's perspective, I do think your organization. I hope every city can replicate what you're doing here because it really. I mean, I've taught in other parts of the district, and when I came to Delray 2 years ago, I'm like, really? They get all of this down here? That's the breakfast and every. It's just.
Right, there's lots of
It
support.
does a
There's a lot
lot.
of support in the Delray community.
it's
And
huge.
one of the great things for me was we decided we wanted to have a reward celebration
Right.
for the
Yes.
teachers before the school when the school year was first started.
Fantastic.
And that was just for me. That was
That was great.
That was
That was
They got
fantastic.
dressed up. They
Yes.
wanted
Yes.
to come.
Yes.
They sat at their tables.
Yes.
We gave some prizes. They were all yay.
Yes.
You know, it was just a good feeling.
And it was good to be with the other recipients, the different schools, because
Right.
again, we're not, we're in our little island all the time, so it was
Right, and
nice
you
to
saw other people that are
Yes,
teaching
meet-
similar grades or
Yes.
whatever, and then you got see people on stage who got the
Yes.
school, and the school got their plaques. So
That was great.
It was fantastic.
Keep
yeah.
up the good work.
Thank you so
we're
much.
gonna
yeah.
do the best we can. We're gonna do the best to expand what we do
Yes.
because there's never enough. There's never enough.
Great.
So thank both of you for coming in. We really
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422. You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Well, hi guys. I'm back by myself because the first charity we talked about was Roots and Wings, and that charity was started about 3 years ago. Be 3 years in April. My wife and I had decided that we would establish a charity to gift our money when we both passed away. And she passed away about 3 years ago in April, and that's when I established the charity in her honor to honor teachers and to help in any way we could with children that were a little disadvantaged and needed a hand up. So that charity has started and has obviously grown, to which I'm extremely happy and pleased, and I know she is also. The other charity that I'm involved in, I also founded with two other gentlemen about 3 years ago. The name of that charity is Impact 100 for Men. Its concept started out of the idea of giving as one. I know there are lots of people out there who love to give a certain amount of money to certain charities and spread that gifting around, and that's really special. But if you thought that you could combine your gift with someone else's gift, maybe 50, 60 people's worth of gifts, and if it became a really good amount of money that you were gifting, you could really make a difference. You could really help in a program. So the concept was first started actually by women, because women always are smarter than men in so many ways. So the women started Impact 100 for women. It was originally started not in Delray Beach, but I think in Cleveland, Ohio. But the Delray, Boca, Southern Palm Beach County version of it started several years ago. And one of my neighbors was instrumental in that. And when we decided that we wanted to try to do something like that, we said, well, we don't know what the name should be, and we don't know about bylaws or how things would work. So I said I would ask my friend Tandy to come and have lunch with us and discuss it. And she said, why don't you use Impact 100 for men? And why don't you go to the Community Foundation, which is our supporting organization currently, and talk to them about how you can gift as one. So we started, we did that, and the first year we gifted, we had 53, I think, members, and we raised, therefore, $53,000, and we award once a year, every year, one award for the majority of the money, and then the other two charities that are in the finals get the remaining amount of the money. So we put a call out to all the charities in Southern Palm Beach County that are 501c3s and have been in operation for 3 or more years. We then, when we get those applications back from the Community Foundation, they're usually about 30 of them. We go through their ideas of how they would spend up to $100,000. And once they do that, we then start going through the applications. We're interested in education and we're interested in children. So those are our two focal points. And the first year, the winner was the Miracle League, who were putting together a playground next to their facility at Miller Park. Now, I don't know if any of you know about the Miracle League, but it's a wonderful concept. What it does is it has a playground where handicapped children play baseball, softball. And every child, no matter whether they're in a wheelchair or what their handicap is, hit the ball. It's thrown to them, they hit the ball, and they run the bases, or they go around the bases, and it's so emotional when they round third base because there's a whole group of people cheering for them as they approach home plate. Now, I don't know how you would think about seeing that, but it brings tears to a lot of people's eyes to see how great the child feels for being a winner and hitting that home run. So the game goes on because everybody hits a home run, and that's pretty special. Anyway, there was a playground area or an area next to the field, and they had a concept that they wanted to build a boundless playground area so handicapped kids as well as regular kids could play in this playground area. And we gifted $50,000 to help to be impactful and to help those children that wanted to go play in a playground and couldn't normally do so because of their handicapped nature, be able to go to this playground. So the playground is now a reality. We helped dedicate it a year ago, and it made all of us feel as if we had an instrumental role in making that happen. And I think that's the idea, is to combine your gifts if each one of us had given our $1,000 individually, we wouldn't have been nearly as impactful as a group. So that was our first year. This last year, the people from Tech Garage, who do phenomenal things with robotics, we're having a summer program at Village Academy, and we supported that program with $50,000 to help the kids who normally wouldn't have this summer opportunity to be able to go build robotic things as teams. And the great thing is they do build it as a team. There are 4 or 6 kids that work together to accomplish a common goal. And we had both groups come to one of our meetings, which was at Pat's Wine Bar, and hear from both the recipients of the gifts what those gifts meant to their organizations. This is our 3rd year. I think we're just about, if not at 60, we're very close to 60 members this year. So we're about to launch. We're still open for membership until the end of this month. We hope to get a few more members to join, men members to join. Then we go out at the end of this, beginning of next month, with our call to the nonprofits to come in and give us their information. And then we go through a process with a committee to understand what they want to do. We do 6 of them with site visits. And then at the end of all of that, we pick the final 3, the committee does, and then every man has 1 vote. You got $1,000, you got 1 night to come, and you go and you have a vote. And the winning charity gets the majority, which would be, in this particular case, $50,000, and the other 2 charities would get 5 if, in fact, we raise the 60. If we raise 65 or 63, the other 2 charities would share in the remaining amount of money. Now, $50,000 is a substantial amount. We don't give it all at once because even though the charity says that they're going to do something, we hold back half of the money until the program is in operation and they come back and they say, this is what we've done with your money. So we want to hold them accountable, even though they are a 501c3. We're very careful about making sure that the gifting that we do, the money that we give, is used properly and for the gift that we intend it to be used for. So I can't tell you who's going to win this year. I can only tell you that the more members we have, the better it will be for that charity and the other 2 charities. And it really is amazing all the different people that come up with ideas. One of the charities that came in as a runner-up last year does dental work for children who are not able to afford it in the various schools. They go to the school with licensed dentists and they do teeth cleaning and that sort of thing. If you don't have the money to provide for food or shelter for your children, it's a sad day, and you obviously don't have the money to provide the proper dental care for your child. One of my other favorite charities is one that provides beds. It's called Sweet Dream Makers. It was started by Susie Broad, and several years ago. It was started first before it was a 501c3. Now it is a 501c3. They're primarily down in Boca, but they are involved. They have a warehouse in Delray Beach where they have used furniture that they help kids out with and parents out with. And it's just, if you don't have a bed, if you don't have food in your stomach, how can you expect a child to go to school and learn? It's just, to me, it's just a sad state of affairs. Chuck and I both, as well as Stephen Green, the 3 founders of Impact, are also members of a little small organization in Delray called Delray Beach Initiative. It is not a 501c3. It's just a band of people who care, and we have 2 events a year where we gift the money that we raise to a charity, and that we ask the charity to help us at that event. And one event last year was for the Milagro Center, where we helped contribute towards their new building and their programs. And the other one was to help feed the homeless, the hungry, homeless kids. Hard to imagine that children are actually attending public school and don't live in a house. They live in a car. They live with their neighbor one day, and then they move to another place the next day. So if you don't have a bed, and you don't have a roof really over your head, and you're hungry, these are things that are just, for me, unimaginable. But they exist, and they exist in Delray Beach. So both of those 2 charities benefited by over $20,000 to help raise the funds to help put food in those children's backpacks. They have a special backpack that they put the food in over the weekend so that they don't go without food on Saturday or Friday night or Saturday or Sunday before they come back on Monday. Now, they sneak the food in there because they don't want other kids to know that they're in need. But the most important thing is that we as a society need to care. We need to open up our hearts. We need to see where the need is. We need to try to ferret out the need, make sure it's a legitimate need, and then we need to be resourceful and helpful. And we're missing the boat if we don't do that kind of service to our fellow man. So when a child, as in Roots and Wings, needs a little extra help in order to pass that 3rd grade test, imagine just for a minute the devastation of having to repeat 3rd grade again. And imagine also that maybe you still don't know how to read at the end of being at that 3rd grade level for a second time. It's the last time that you'll ever have to repeat. So now you go to the 4th grade, but you still don't know how to read very well. And then you go to the 5th grade, but you still don't know how to read very well. They decide how many prison cells are going to be built in the United States based on how many kids don't pass the 3rd grade reading test and go on to 4th grade. Now, anything we can do as a society, in my opinion, to make those kids read and understand, reading is the key to success. You don't know how to read, you cannot be successful. You don't have to go to college. If you know how to read, you can be an auto repair guy, you can be an air conditioning repair person, you can have any number of jobs that interest you because you know how to read. But if you don't know how to read, you don't know how to do math. Because in the 4th grade or the 5th grade, they start asking questions like, they become problems. If Johnny drove his car twice as fast as Sally, well, if you can't read, you don't know, it's not 2 times 42. They're words. And if you don't know the words, you have no idea how to solve the problem. So to me, education is the key. It's the most important aspect. But you have to be ready to be educated. You have to have a home. You have to have food. You have to have shelter. You have to have that bed. You have to have loving people around you that say, yes, you can. You have to have mentors, people that aren't part of your family unit that come and say those sorts of things, be they teachers or be they your football coach or your science teacher or the minister at church, somebody that says, yes, you can be a star. Yes, you can win. And until we have lifting up our whole society, we all fail. Because until you have had the opportunity to make children be successful, the ones that fail are going to be the problems that we all face. And it's part of our responsibility not to let that happen. And I know the job is not easy. We all understand it, but we can't be in a society or in a situation where we turn our cheek and don't understand what we're doing when we do that. And so to me, gift what you can, serve how you can. If you don't have the wherewithal to give money, volunteer. Volunteer to do certain things to help, whether it be reading book at an after-school program, volunteering to help at your church, volunteering to help be a mentor to some child that needs just that extra little shoulder to talk to somebody about something. We don't know what that is, but they can't just always rely on their mother or their father, or both parents are working and they've got to go home to an empty house, or they go to their grandmother. These things we need to be more responsive and more helpful to those children that need that extra little voice in their ear. Do the right thing. Stay in school. Listen to your mother. Listen to your father. We need those sorts of things to be helpful, because without that, we're all as a society going to fail. So whether it be helping Roots and Wings, or helping the Tennis Foundation, or helping Sweet Dream Makers, or helping kids who need to learn how to live better and eat better, or understanding ecological situations in the world, become involved. Become involved, because there are wonderful charities out there that need some help, whether it be financial or whether it be person help. And there are lots of great ones in Delray Beach. So I hope that this little bit of time I've had to spend talking about charitable ideas will inspire some of you to go do the right thing. Become involved. Even if it's only for a couple of hours a week. We all understand that we could gift those hours to something more important than ourselves. You'll feel better for it. I guarantee you. Because the idea of giving will inspire you to give more. You just have to be there to experience it. You have to have seen that child, like I did, with his 2 thumbs up after he got his Gold Achievement Award at Orchard View. Or the 2 kids that came up to me at Pine Grove. I don't even know their names, and they came up to me and said, "Hi, Ted. How you doing?" At Pine Grove's Pride Day. And I said, "Well, how do you know my name?" And they said, "We were in your reading program last year." And how does that make you feel? It better make you feel good, because you're making a difference. And every single one of us can make that difference if we choose to do so. We just have to be that person that says, yes, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone a little bit. Yes, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to either donate my time, I'm going to donate a little money. I don't like taking people's money until they've seen what their money does. I don't take a salary. I'm trying to gift my money away. It's important that we all understand where we all should be doing, what we should be doing, and that is thinking about somebody that's needy, that could use that hand up. Not a hand out, but a hand up to make them a better person. So I hope this few minutes that I've been able to be here today has inspired a couple of you as a call to action, especially on this day when we honor Martin Luther King. A peaceful man, and a man who understood that being resourceful, being determined, but being respectful of the law was important, and that we all can be together, and we will all be better off when we are together. So that's the message of the day. I hope you all have had a good time listening to me ramble, and I hope you'll take heed and gift, because gifting is the most important thing that you can do, and I guarantee you it will make you feel better.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.